This is the Spurs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the San Antonio Spurs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, with their Emirates Cup back against the wall to potentially get the chance to play in Las Vegas in a few weeks, the Spurs star shines even brighter, and De'Aaron Fox keeps that dream open just a little bit longer. Welcome into the Spurs Postcast right here on Locked On Spurs. As always, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network in all of the land. Tonight, talking about a good night for San Antonio, 115-102 victory in Portland over the Trailblazers to move to 2-1 in Group C play. And as a result, it puts them in a spot this weekend, this Friday, in Denver. If they take care of business, they're going to win the group. But that's a ways to go, and we got a ways until we get there on this program. And my friend Devin Brown, a lot to talk about, and a good win tonight for the Spurs as this road trip continues, spearheaded by their star, De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, good morning. It's early. Hey, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to break down, Casey. Let's get to it.
Yes, we do. Got no time to waste this late. Let's go.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, weird first half because neither team, it felt like they shot particularly well, especially on the Spurs side of things. Only 37% from the field. The two teams combined to shoot 9 of 33 from deep in the first half. Spurs did go into the break with a 2-point advantage. Again, De'Aaron Fox, a reason for that. He missed his first 5 shots tonight, Fox did, but rattled off a quick 7 in a row before they went to break to go up by 2. He had 9 points again in the third quarter to turn that lead into a 5-point lead after 3. From that point forward, we saw Portland make a few pushes to get back into it. One we will hit on in particular in a moment, but some big-time shot making from De'Aaron Fox. He puts up a final line that reads 37 points, 6 boards, 8 assists. The 37 is the most as a San Antonio Spur. Vassell, 23, the second high man collectively as a whole, 41% on the night for San Antonio shooting the basketball. A grinded out win in a place against that's tough to win, and a young team that's coached by former Spur Tiago Splitter in the meantime has been playing well in their own right. Had Portland won tonight, Devin, they would have won the group. Yeah. And they would have swept the group. So Portland 8-10 on the season, but heading in the right direction. All things considered, a good bounce back showing tonight from San Antonio.
Yeah, absolutely. Portland, give them credit. And like you said, a tough place to play for a couple of reasons. You know, they got that Nike campus up there, for all the Nike guys. So normally on a game day, you're up there shopping. I know I always was. But let's take a look at this. Keldon brought it double-double. He was great tonight. He only played about 23, 24 minutes. What we saw, Casey, and here's a little nugget for you. You saw who Mitch kind of trusts the most. All right. High minutes for Champagnie, high minutes for Vassell, high minutes for Fox. But Luke Kornet, he was right around that 24, 25. Kelly Olynyk, same thing. They kind of stepped in there. It was a two-headed monster from them. But Fox, 37 points on the night. He was great. He gave it to you early. He gave it to you mid. He gave it to you late. So he was great. Good to see that. Good to see him bounce back. I thought Dylan Harper looked good in his first game back as far as, the way he was moving around and getting into the paint and things like that. He had a dunk. So we know that he's healthy. But Vassell, 23 points. The shot at the end of the third quarter was big in helping to get to this Spurs victory.
I would probably say that was the best Devin Vassell has looked this season. That or the Houston game. Would you not agree with that? I feel like at least knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, no, no, that's fine. The thing about it is that, he was hitting some of that stuff that he was throwing up. I swear sometimes when he shoots it, I think he's going, Kobe, because but anyway, he played well tonight. And like I said, his mid-range was going. But that shot at the end of the third quarter was huge because it put the Spurs back up 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a big, big shot.
Yeah, Portland had a few flurries in this game to get back into it. They were down by 10 in the third. They cut it to 2. Before that, Vassell shot a couple times. They got it to 6. Denny Avdia, who has been fantastic so far for Portland this season, again, played well tonight. His final line tonight for Denny Avdia was, just so I have it in front of me to add context to what I'm about to tell you here. Avdia with 37 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. So usually in this situation, we introduce the segment as the turning point.
Right.
This was, in fact, a turning point, but a little bit more of an indictment because for Avdia, things really did not go his way.
Uh-oh, somebody messed up, and it's time to let them know with who fudged up.
Yeah, we caught you holding your breath there. Fudged up. Remember, we have sponsors.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
have sponsors. It was clean.
Hey, and that's the perfect deal. That's the perfect deal for what it is that we're gonna get into, because Casey got up there, and I'm not gonna say any names, but he got up there and missed some free throws.
Yeah, he did. Plenty of them. So 4:50 left to go. Kelly Olynyk is hit with a clear path foul in an 8-point game. It actually cost the Blazers a basket. So proved ultimately not to be the worst thing in the world. But as a result, it sends Avdia to the free throw line. Avdia hadn't missed at all at this point in the game, 7 of 7. He goes up there, he misses the 2 free throws, and it sets off a chain where he misses 5 free throws inside that final 4:50 left to go, a stretch where he misses 6 of 7. That is the closest they would get, and ultimately a reason why the Spurs leave the Moda Center tonight with a victory.
Hey, you said he finished with how many? What did he finish with?
Points?
Yeah,
37.
Oh, so him and Fox canceled each other out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's amazing. Now, the only thing that it's really going to mess him up is in his contract. How many 40-point games do you get? X amount of dollars for that. Now he just really fudged up, So, but no, I think this is the 3rd time I've seen him play. Never heard of the guy. They happen to have a doubleheader on probably about a month ago, right? And I was doing some scouting, knowing that this game was coming up for San Antonio. And so I see this guy, and I'm like, oh, he looks like a big-headed, right-handed Manu Ginobili.
From an aesthetic standpoint, yeah, I don't have much rebuttal. Manu might have had a better flow.
It seems like you're just going to let me go on a deep end with it. That's fine. Hey, that kid can play.
It's after midnight. We'll see where this goes.
Yeah. At the end of the night, that kid can play. And I'll tell you what, he keeps that Portland team alive. He gets a lot of those guys good shots, and then on the other side of it, he's able to get his own. So much respect for him. 37, and he's been averaging 26 over the last however many games. So
yeah.
But the free throws that cost him. And just think about it. Like, really, you can put the whole Blazers team on that fudged up segment because you had a chance to wrap up the cup. Let it go.
It's true. And especially in a group that featured the Spurs, the Rockets, the Warriors, the Nuggets. The Blazers are kind of looked at, all right, we have to get a 5th team in there. Who haven't we put in there? Portland, you guys get in there too. And they were 1 win from doing it. And I mean, they still have a shot now.
Yeah. And Casey, that means they went into somebody's building and beat them. I'd have to look at who it was. I don't know if it was Denver or Houston, but man, they had a chance.
It's been a funky season up there in Portland. It's been a very funky season up there in Portland, but Tiago Splitter's got things a little bit, some sort of rhyme or reason in what's been a very odd campaign up to this point. All right, coming up on the other side of the break, Devin hit on it briefly. Dylan Harper's back after missing nearly a month, 10 games with that calf situation he had going on. We'll talk about his return, plus the aforementioned Group C. The Spurs control their fate, whether they will be playing in the quarterfinal round in the next couple of weeks. Going to talk about that and a little bit more right here on the Spurs postcast on Locked On Spurs. But before we do that, we got to talk to you about a few of our friends that drive this program. In particular, or at least first off, Game Time. Nothing beats being in the arena for these opening games. As we know, amazingly, we're almost 2 months into the season. But let's be real. Getting tickets can be a headache. You have the queues, surprise fees, the price hikes right at the end. You're getting ready to walk out the door, and ultimately, instead, you're frustrated. That's where the Game Time app comes in. It gives fans the advantage. And they call it the ultimate life hack to buy NBA tickets like that, quick and easy. I believe it. I bought tickets for a game out of town in about a month or so, and I'd never used it before. And then all these things I'm listing about them right now, the fact that it's quick, it's easy, you see everything in front of you, no hidden fees at checkout. It's all the reason I bought it. I pulled away, I pulled the trigger, and I got some pretty good seats along the way. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. As always, terms apply for those $20 off. As they say over there, swipe, tap, ticket, and go. Well, as you know, this is a late get-together of the Spurs postcast, and if you're anything like me, you got to hydrate all day for something like this. I'm not in my 20s anymore, right? It starts from the moment I wake up. I, again, was new to Drip Drop until I was introduced with one of their packets, their hydrating packets. What Drip Drop is, well, it's not your average sports drink. And it delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands using a science-based backed formula trusted by medical pros and firefighters and a whole bunch of college athletes and pro teams along the way, 90% to be exact. That's why I took it in the morning, took one later in the day, and I feel like $1 million as we head into early this Thursday, Thanksgiving morning. So right now they're offering podcast listeners 20% off the first order. Go to dripdrop.com, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for 20% off. And we're in Texas, as we know. Stock up before the heat starts hitting hard, and keep your body and mind performing at their complete best with Drip Drop. All right, welcome back into the Spurs postcast right here on Locked On Spurs. San Antonio, 115-102 winners tonight in Group Cup qualifier play, 12-5 now on the season, 2-1 in Cup play, Mr. Devin Brown. As we do know, Dylan Harper came back for the first time in nearly a month, missed 10 games with that let's try this again, the left calf strain. He was off the grid for a little while. He came back, played some big minutes. They did have him in there in the early portions to the mid portion of the fourth quarter, not only out there, but playing with De'Aaron Fox. And for the most part, I would say he looked good. Not overly consequential one way or another, which is good. You don't want to have it glaring in a negative. If it, you certainly don't want that. It seemed like it was just a good enough way to get him ramped up to speed, and everything it needed to be going forward.
Definitely. So, if you're Coach Mitch, you have a big game, you have a big-time player returning, you're able to get him about 20 to 25 minutes, all right?
Yeah.
And you got a W out of it. So Mitch looked like a young pop out there tonight. But here's what I'm going to say about Mr. Harper. He shows you glimpses of what it is that he's going to be, and he's going to be something special here, probably by the end of this year, but definitely going into next year. But it was good to see him not favoring that leg, not thinking about it. He played Dylan Harper basketball, and that's what Spurs fans want to see. And I know that's what the organization wants to see. And for the most important person, that's what he wants to see out of himself. So great return game. And I'll tell you what, he had some moments that really helped his basketball team get a win tonight.
Yeah, 7 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 of 8 shooting from the field. in the victory, 2 of 8 correct shooting from the field in the win. I think we were talking about this yesterday on Jeff and I were on the squad show, was that they are just so void right now of talent at that one spot after De'Aaron Fox because of the injuries. And the way I looked at it was they were just looking for guys at minimum to get the ball on the other side of the floor when Fox isn't on the floor. So I think the way they looked at it was just a healthy and able body first, above all else. Someone who can just run the point, because that's their design position to. And everything else along the way would fall into place because they kind of needed it above all else. You can't be running De'Aaron Fox out there 40 minutes a night because you don't have a backup point guard. And I thought as a result, it worked out okay. You know, nothing glaring one way or another. And it was a pretty good, smooth fit to get back to work, I thought.
Yeah, well, look at it from the Portland side of view. You know, Avia is averaging about 34 minutes, and he was extended tonight because Portland needed that game. He ends up missing some free throws down the stretch. So you don't like to see any of those players go through that. And you know, on the San Antonio side, that Mitch is not going to do things like that with his players. The organization is going to take care of their players. And at the end of the day, you're able to get him back out on the court. All right. He got a chance to go out there, play the game that he loves. He didn't injure himself. So, and on top of that, you get a win. You move on. You get him ready for Denver. Now, Denver might need him about 25 to 30. All right.
30.
Tonight was kind of a light night. This is going to be a war come Denver.
Wow. You're saying you're back, kid. You're healthy. We're just full steam go. 30. I like it.
You know, the thing about it is, Casey, you know, you got to have Dylan out there, and you got all these other guys going out there because they're bait right now. You got to you can't see him. He's back here. You got to get the big fella back on the court, man. And if this team can get a string of games together, you know, you're trying to entice Wemby to get his big butt back on the court, man. I don't know where he's at. But
he didn't make the trip. We do know that. He did not make the trip out west.
Oh, he can't play golf? I know another person that doesn't like to go out when the weather's bad because they want to play golf. But anyway, like I said, if they can get a couple of these games, like if you beat a Denver, you're sending a message to Wemby himself, not the players. You know what I mean? The players are, hey, we need you. Let's go. Like, come on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that's what's going to be interesting about this Denver game coming up, because we've talked about a lot through these first however many 17 games that they've played so far, was that they haven't really had kind of a moment of validation like, hey, we've arrived. The Rockets game to a certain extent, but even if we include that, outside of that, not really. They lost both of those Warrior games. Right. And now they have a chance to go to Denver, and a Denver team that's not healthy right now. Christian Braun's hurt. Aaron Gordon's hurt. I know Victor is hurt, but it's a chance to go and not only get a win, but go win the group and be playing in the knockout round in the next couple of weeks. There's a lot at stake on this Friday game that's coming up. And I think it's very fitting that they're getting into a spot where if they want to prove it, they've been looking for the chance to prove it. We talk so much on this this show about getting opportunities for validations. This is it.
Yep.
It's on the runway.
It's another opportunity, like you're saying. It's another opportunity. You had that 2 games against the Warriors in your building. Didn't take advantage of it. But they bounced back, right? We always give them credit. They bounced back after that. All right. Another opportunity. Remember, they had the blowout game before they went down to Phoenix the other night. Looked good. Everybody's shot was going. Everybody's feeling comfortable about themselves. Dud in Phoenix, right? That was another opportunity. Well, here we go again, right? And this isn't going to be the last one. There'll be more. But this is the big one because, like you said, it gets you that knockout round. Now, they take care of business, and where it is, how young this basketball team is at certain spots, Now does Wemby come back? I mean, there's a lot of questions that can be answered in the next week or so.
I think our player of the game tonight would certainly incentivize Victor to come back once he's ready for sure.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Who you got tonight, my friend? I have a pretty good idea who's going to be.
Yeah, I'm going with De'Aaron Fox. And I'm gonna tell you why. I get on that young man about a lot of things that he does. I like, right? On these different shows, I talk about a lot of different things. But tonight, he showed why it is he's De'Aaron Fox. He played very well tonight. Not only was he looking for his shot, but he shared the basketball. I thought he played within the system tonight. Okay. And when De'Aaron can do that, he's a totally different player. And I'll tell you what, he helped Coach Mitch out tonight. He said, you know what, Coach, I got you tonight. And that's what De'Aaron was able to do, Casey.
37 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 11 of 25 from the field, hit all 12 of his free throws. The 37 is the most that he's scored since coming to San Antonio last season. So De'Aaron Fox, understandably. So one more number 2 as well. This is the 6th consecutive game that he has had 20-plus points. And obviously that goes hand in hand with Victor going down. And the litmus test that we were saying when Victor went down, De'Aaron, time for you to step up. If we're being honest, he has. And he has definitely stepped up. And credit to him up to this point. And credit to all you guys at home as we get ready to put a bow on things on this very early Thanksgiving morning. All you guys hanging out with us on the holiday weekend. Maybe you're on your drive down. Maybe I know some people like to celebrate on Thanksgiving Eve. Maybe you're just checking back in or waiting, listen to us on the line to get somewhere else. I don't know. Either way, you've had a lot of fun engagement tonight checking in. We appreciate that right here on the Spurs Squad Show on Locked On Spurs, as always, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 podcast network in all of the land. Next time you're going to hang out with us, it's going to be Friday night after the Denver game, potentially talking about the Spurs locking up Group C, or potentially trying to get a little bit of help to get kind of that wild card bid in to be playing in the next couple of weeks. We'll find out. Until then, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, Casey.
Yeah. I've enjoyed doing this a lot. So celebrating the first holiday, I think, well deserved for you and for everyone at the Locked On team. But as for you at home, we appreciate you again for hanging out with us, and we will talk to you again on Friday night. Spurs winners today, 115-102, to keep their hopes of playing some big-time basketball in Las Vegas alive. Talk to you on Friday.